Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited to talk to you today. You could tell us in the chat where you're joining us from. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world.
Yes, thank you everyone for taking the time to attend our live session. Today you're going to be able to meet all of our program chairs. We're going to talk about our different departments and programs. So we're so excited to be connecting with you.
Yeah, I see a South Carolina. I'm in South Carolina as well. Welcome. We'll give it a few minutes for people to filter in. We are going to have a pretty big group today, so.
Welcome, everyone. Wow, we've got San
Beverly Hills.
Antonio, Texas, not too far from me, and looks like we got both coasts representing. Lots of people from Oregon.
Texas.
California too.
Arizona.
Oh, San Diego, my old hometown. From Panama, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Seeing lots of people from Florida. We have quite a few faculty members who are actually based out of Florida. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking time to hear from us. You'll be meeting the ACHS program deans. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to our Dean of General Education, Dr. Lori Holdren, who will be doing our introductions and going over the agenda for today.
Hi, welcome. It's so exciting to see all of you here today. Next screen. What we're going to be taking a look at today is the ACHS offerings that we have. We're going to give you an overview of our programs, and then we're going to get to meet the deans in the various areas that we have of aromatherapy, herbal medicine, holistic nutrition, and integrative health. Along the way, if you have questions, you can post them in the chat. And at the end of each of these areas, we'll stop and we'll be able to have a question and answer session before we move on to the next area of specialty. Next slide. So we are a fully online and accredited institution, which makes you eligible to get financial aid as part of coming to our college, and it makes your degrees transferable to different organizations depending on where you're going. We have a semester-based system. So that means we have a fall, spring, and summer term that are 15 weeks long. Our courses are divided into what we call modules, and we have 7 two-week modules, followed by a finals week module. We also have some courses that are offered in accelerated terms that go half that length. So depending on when you come into the program, you might start halfway through a term. So if you're planning a summer vacation the first half of the summer and you want to join us, you could actually start the second half. We have various undergraduate and graduate offerings. We have certificates, diplomas, an associate and bachelor's degree at the undergraduate level. And then we also have certificates, master's degree, and we're just going to be offering, starting this fall, a new doctorate program. So there's a lot of things that are available, and today we're going to go through how you can pick out the right one for you. Once you learn about these opportunities today, you can go to our website and look at the programs and the courses that are within those programs in more detail. So if you go right to the academics tab at our achs.edu website, you'll be able to access all that information. Next screen. So I support the general education program area, which is embedded in our bachelor's and associate's degrees. Along the way, in terms of your support that you're going to receive at ACHS, so in case you were worried about what the classes are like, your classes have a lot of professor guidance and support. They will help you along the way on assignments. They're there to answer questions. They have regular Zooms each week. If you can't attend them live, there's always a recording that you can watch. Outside the classroom, we have peer tutoring services. You will get an academic advisor who can also be a coaching person if you have any needs along your academic lines. We have a really cool Facebook coaching group where students support each other. Our student services has a lot of student success seminars. The deans, we have Ask a Deans webinars where we have different topics that we highlight that are of student interest. As part of your tuition, you get what's called Timely MD, and this gives you 24/7 access to virtual care, self-care, and well-being tools. And it also includes health coaching, which a lot of you might find interesting because you might be going into that field. In addition, we are starting up some student socials where students will be able to get interaction with each other outside of the classroom. And now I'm going to turn this over to our next program dean, Amanda Lattin, who's going to be talking about aromatherapy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Holdren. That was wonderful. We're also excited to meet you today, and I'm excited to share with you about aromatherapy. So this is a very unique aspect of the offerings at ACHS, and I'm very pleased to be active in this field and be a professional in this field. This is one half of the botanical medicine coin, and we explore both of them here at ACHS. So aromatherapy is the intentional, safe use of plant essential oils to promote health and wellness. And this is what makes aromatherapy a unique aspect of working with botanicals, is because we're working with a very specific type of extract of plants, the essential oils, which are distilled from various types of plants to access the part of them that we smell. So really unique component of herbalism. And in aromatherapy, we use essential oils through a number of types of methods of use, including inhaling essential oils or applying them to the skin in various types of applications. So you can see this literally through just, topical applications of essential oils diluted in carrier oils to baths and lotions or ointments, and also through inhalations. You might have seen this at a spa while you're receiving a massage, or perhaps during acupuncture or chiropractic. It's a growing modality globally. We've seen continued growth over the last 20 years globally in both aromatherapy products and services. And we know that people are interested in this because of the role that aromatherapy plays in integrative healthcare. It's a very gentle, non-invasive modality that can be used alone or alongside other complementary modalities. And we're seeing this more and more in different types of clinical settings and used to support different types of populations, which many of you may work with if you go into integrative health, including veterans, hospice care, children, helping to manage mental health in pain management clinics. So it's a really diverse modality. It's a little bit quiet compared to, say, herbal medicine or some things that you may be more familiar with. But that isn't because it's not doing big things. Aromatherapy research is continuing to grow and garnering more interest from different sectors. And we're just really excited to see it available more in integrative healthcare. Next slide, please. So at ACHS, if you're studying aromatherapy, you're really getting world-class training in aromatherapy. We have some of the only accredited degree programs in aromatherapy offered in the United States. We were the first to offer an accredited Master's of Science degree in aromatherapy. And aromatherapy has been with ACHS since the beginning. Our custom in-house e-textbooks on aromatherapy and essential oil monographs have been through many, many editions of revisions, and it's ongoing. So we really do our best to bring you the latest in research and clinical information on essential oils. We source essential oils for students to learn from. They're organic, pesticide-free, superior quality. And so it really helps you to train your nose to be able to evaluate the quality of essential oils when you begin to do your work. The college is also a fantastic resource to access these essential oils. So you'll get a kit, a course kit with each of your aromatherapy courses, which includes the essential oils that you will be studying, and then other materials that will help you learn how to create aromatherapy preparations, which you get to do as part of your assignments in the class. So that's what's so great, is you're going to get to learn all the technical information about the essential oils. You're going to get to learn how to use them therapeutically, and then you get to practice creating different types of aromatherapy preparations, and then also working on case study assignments. So you really get the full spectrum of experience while you're studying essential oils and aromatherapy at ACHS. So that's usually the favorite part, is because they smell so great, but you might be surprised. You get to learn about essential oils you may have never even known about before coming into your ACHS classes. Next slide, please. So there are many opportunities that you can use your aromatherapy training for, and you can use them for the ones that we have on the slide. But if you're in other integrative health modalities, I just want to say that your clients are interested and are using aromatherapy. And so even if it's not an area you want to specialize in, it is going to enhance what you already do in your work. And you will get people who will ask you questions about this. I share this at every conference I go to, no matter what the profession, because so many people have essential oils in their home and are interested in using them for self-care. But after you complete one of our aromatherapy programs at ACHS, and we do have a number of different types, ranging from certificates to diplomas, and then you can incorporate it into a degree, an associate's or bachelor's degree. At the graduate level, we also have a graduate certificate, and then of course the Master's of Science in Aromatherapy that I mentioned. So there are different levels of commitment, and we really want to help you get into a program that aligns with your goals. But if you complete one of our programs, these are some of the outcomes for you and opportunities that will open up. You can sit to become a registered aromatherapist by taking the exam through Aromatherapy Registration Council. You can also apply for professional or clinical memberships with either and or both the Alliance of International Aromatherapists and the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapy. These are fantastic organizations. And actually, you can apply for student membership to either one of them while you're enrolled in an aromatherapy program here at ACHS. I highly recommend joining one of these organizations because you will get access to their monthly webinars. They both have members only pages with extensive resources. You can get a listing there, and it's just going to be a fantastic opportunity to network and get personal and professional support. How you can utilize your aromatherapy training really depends on your own goals and interests, and also the rest of your background. As I mentioned before, aromatherapy is utilized by healthcare professionals in nursing, research, massage therapy, in hospice care. It can be used in reflexology, with chiropractic, acupuncture, and also in aesthetics. And our aromatherapy faculty come from a really varied background. So you may actually get to study under a healthcare professional that works in one of these fields and also specializes in aromatherapy. You can also develop a business focus on client services, on products. Perhaps you're interested in aromatherapy education in your community or in your profession. Maybe you want to develop community resources, or you're interested in writing and publications. And that can really range from a blog, a very high quality blog, to perhaps you want to create scholarly publications. So this is just some of the ideas of what you can do with your aromatherapy training, but it's quite versatile. Next slide, please. So we wanted to share with you some of our success stories. And here is a fantastic example. So Jennifer Langsdale graduated with a Master's of Science in Aromatherapy. She was already a professional in yoga. She owned a very successful yoga studio and also was a yoga trainer, trained other yoga instructors. And since graduating from the MS in aromatherapy program, she has not only incorporated aromatherapy into what she already does, but she's also developed a line of aromatherapy skincare and self-care products, and has also started providing aromatherapy education in her community. So she really just hit the ground running and not only created new things, but then also incorporated aromatherapy into what she was already successfully doing. So I'd love to answer any questions anyone has about aromatherapy or about our aromatherapy programs. Feel free to put them in the chat. I didn't really share a lot about my background, but I myself am a practicing aromatherapist. So I'm a registered aromatherapist. I'm also a practicing herbalist here in Portland, Oregon. So I have a lot of experience in this field, whether it's ranging from education and academics to actually working with clients and developing products. So please feel free to post questions for me. My email is also available on the website if you'd rather contact me later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. I don't see any questions quite yet, but please, everyone who's joined us today, if you have questions as we go, we can always come back to aromatherapy specific questions, or you can ask them now.
Absolutely. There are no silly questions.
Not at all.
So I do see we have a question about accepting credits from other schools, and I think I will let admissions front that one.
Yeah, that's a great question. Upon acceptance, whether it's undergrad or graduate study, our registrar's office will review any prior transcripts a student has for transfer of credit. What they're looking at is primarily, was the school accredited, recognized by the Department of Education? Were they quarter or semester credit hours? And does the content match in terms of the learning outcomes? We definitely have goals of helping you make your education affordable. So we really do try to encourage students to get all of their transcripts in when they begin the admissions process, so we can potentially maximize any transfer of credit that's possible. Amanda, great question.
I see some great questions. So let me explain a little bit about our different programs. I see the question here about the difference between a master's and associates in aromatherapy. So you can see here on the left are our undergraduate programs in aromatherapy, which start with the certificate in aromatherapy. So this program will contain our series of aromatherapy courses, which are 4 of them. So it'll introduce you to the modality and then guide you through understanding how aromatherapy works with different body systems, and then detailed materia medica study of dozens of essential oils. You'll also work through learning how to develop a case study and a support plan for a client, and also get to practice writing about essential oils. But this program does not contain the required anatomy and physiology courses that you need to take in order to sit for the exam and professional memberships that I mentioned. So if you've already taken the anatomy and physiology in another program, speaking to the question about transferring credit, this is a fantastic fit for you, because you can just, hit the ground running with the aromatherapy courses. You also get to take a class in business skills and some coaching skills within that. Now you'll see here our Associate of Applied Science and Bachelor's of Science in Integrative Health Sciences. So this would be full degree programs. So these will contain courses other than the aromatherapy courses and the other required classes you'd need for professional membership to an aromatherapy organization or to sit for the RA exam. The diploma sits in between. It contains all the aromatherapy classes that are in the certificate. In addition, you take an aromatherapy chemistry class, which is fascinating because you get to study the aromas of individual essential oil constituents and compare them to the essential oils that contain those constituents. You get to learn about how to assess essential oil quality and practice reading a GCMS analysis of an essential oil. And you get to learn about how essential oils move and interact in the body. So, but this program does contain the required anatomy and physiology classes. So if you're starting from the beginning, this is a fantastic fit for you because you're going to get everything you need to receive your full professional aromatherapy training. So if you're looking for a full degree program, your aromatherapy training can live within the associate's or bachelor's programs. Or if you're just looking specifically for aromatherapy training, then the certificate or diploma program might be a good fit for you. Now, if you've already have a bachelor's degree and you're looking to take master's level courses, then these programs would be options for you. And they're very similar in that the graduate certificate in aromatherapy might be an option for you if you're not looking for a full degree program. But if you are looking for a degree program, and that can really be a career builder for you to get a master's level certificate or a degree program, then one of these might be a fantastic choice. Again, you can focus just on aromatherapy, or you can complete the aromatherapy training within the Integrative Health Sciences program. Okay, so I'm seeing the chat here. Let me see if I can catch up with some of
while
these
you
questions.
review the chat, I think a really great question came up.
Okay.
That I'd love for our admissions teams to be able to share. So Julie has asked, if you already have a diploma in HHP from ACHS, will the credits go towards the associates or bachelors? So Amanda Heller, can you, from our admissions perspective, speak a little bit more about how ACHS is structured?
Yeah, so we are a full degree granting school, as you can all see. So if anyone does start with a certificate or diploma program, those can stack and roll into the associate's or bachelor's degree. I've even had students that begin, say, with a certificate in aromatherapy, and when they're ready, come back to complete the diploma or associates. Those credits would just apply to the next program. It's a great way to take small steps towards some of your short-term goals while working towards your long-term goal. Because honestly, a lot of our students are very entrepreneurial and want to have very specific business ideas or professional goals, and that helps them get their foot in the door sooner rather than later. It works the same way with our graduate programs. So like Amanda Lattin mentioned, if you start with a graduate certificate in aromatherapy and decide later you'd like to finish out your master's degree, the credits from that graduate certificate can roll into the master's program. So it's a fantastic way to set up those short-term goals and start achieving those credentials, like I said, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so thank you so much. So let's try to answer some of these other questions. So the anatomy and physiology I was mentioning is required for both membership to a professional organization. So our programs meet the education standards for either the Alliance of International Aromatherapists or the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, which are the same education standards required to sit for the RA exam. So you need to complete at least a level 2 training and to sit for the RA exam for either of those organizations. So it's either the exam or the professional membership that would be part of completing your training. You can, like I said, either choose a professional membership with either of those organizations, which would be considered a level 2 membership. Or after a year of graduating and being in practice, you can come back and then apply for a clinical membership if the program you complete meets those requirements.
Fantastic.
We touch a little bit on the safety around using essential oils around animals, but we do not do extensive training on how to use essential oils with animals. However, there are programs available for that training. Usually you would have completed one of these types of aromatherapy programs first, and then that would be something that you would do as an additional training. And so, like I said, if you join one of these professional organizations, then you will get information about those types of continuing education programs when they are available. So there is some information in our program about that, but that is considered like a specialty advanced training that you would complete after you've received your initial training. Also, with the traditional Chinese medicine question, our program is not a TCM-based program. It's an evidence-based program, but it is mentioned. And we do have faculty who are acupuncturists or practicing Chinese medicine professionals. I myself, my partner is an acupuncturist. And so you will get, we have some of that in videos. You get to interact with your professors around that. So it's built around that, but it's not like a core aspect of our program. I'm hoping I'm answering the questions here.
So I think we're getting some good questions about other programs. I really like Linda's most recent question. And Linda, yes, we do offer an integrative health program. So I'm actually going to have everyone proceed through the questions. Amanda Heller, looks like we've got an admissions question in there for you. If you can pop in there and respond to Karina.
Yeah, and Karina, yes, we can. Your advisors, when it comes to registering, can support your goals with different credentials, certifications you want to earn while working towards your degree, to use that information and that goal when building your academic plan. Yes.
Okay, so now I believe we're going to turn it over to Dr. Glenn Nagel, our head of our herbal medicine program.
All right, well, that can get confusing, but if you have questions, call our student advisors. They're really good at helping individualize the program for you. I'm Dr. Glenn Nagel. I'm a naturopathic physician. I'm an herbalist, and I'm the dean of herbal medicine. So herbal medicine, like Professor Latin was saying, you know, it's the two sides of the same coin. Or I like to think of herbal medicine as like a sandwich, and we're the meat. And on one side is the aromatherapy, and on the other side is nutrition. Or it could be peanut butter if you're a vegetarian. But this idea that herbal medicine hits all the programs. There is no aromatherapy if there wasn't herbs. Nutrition can be very herbal based. A lot of herbs are food and medicine. Things like turmeric, you know, it's an herb, but it's also a great medicine. And so many of our students come to study herbal medicine because there's kind of a human element that we all relate to herbs as medicine. It's very time honored. You know, thousands of years, humans and plants have this relationship. And so we try to bring a modern scientific viewpoint of how herbal medicine can affect health. And of course, that can be a clinical model, but a lot of times it's a wellness model. Now, in this country, herbalism is not regulated unless you have another degree. And so everybody has the right to use herbs to help support their self and their family's health, and even clients and friends, as long as you don't treat them with medicine. And so herbalism has a huge variety of uses that we try to investigate with our programs. The other thing is herbal medicine is popular now because people are looking for alternatives to the standard drug therapies. And herbs have long been used because they can be very effective and they're very, very safe. Side effects aren't really a big issue. And so in our programs, we talk about how to use the plants, what are the active constituents in plants, what are the concerns and the safety concerns with using them, because of course, there's a lot of people taking medications and they want to take herbs. And these are things we really address in our herbal program. One of the things herbal medicine is not, and this is because of the kind of Oregon where we have a strong herbal background, it's not cannabis medicine. And so I like to start using the word botanical medicine, because although we do have a micro-credential in cannabis medicine, it's not really covered in the herbal program, but the basics are, because it's a plant, and plants all have a basic understanding for extraction and drying and so forth. Let's go to the next slide. This is what's special about all our programs are these kits. This is what you get in Herb 101, a practical lab kit that contains packs of herbs that are used in our labs. All the classes have hands-on labs that you do at home, that you share with the classmates, that I give little lectures each week on essentially how we make a tea or how we make a tincture. And this is an example of making an herbal tea. You get the dried herbs, you get bags and so forth. And so all our classes are taught by competent and accredited professionals. So there are a lot of herbalists that know a lot. They're self-trained. All our faculty have to have a professional degree. Commonly, it's naturopathic doctor like myself, acupuncturist, chiropractor, those kinds of degrees are required to be teaching. So our faculty is super involved, often are in a clinical practice, or like myself, practice clinically for 20 years as a naturopath and herbalist. And so we bring that hands-on experience, that clinical experiences into our weekly Zooms that we share. And so you get these kits for all the herb classes. And so you build up a materia medica. A materia medica is the stuff of medicine, which in our case is herbs. And so you not only understand the quality of herbs, the smell and the taste of herbs, you start building a library of plants that you can use for yourself or your friends and your family. Next slide, please. What are the opportunities and certifications you can get in herbal medicine? Well, herbal medicine has a lot of fingers into holistic health, and many of our students are interested in personal knowledge for themselves and their family, but many are also interested in the wellness model. Medicine we see today, as we call the standard medicine, is the disease model. You have to have a diagnosis, and the diagnosis comes with treatments and prescriptions. The wellness model says that, what can we do to support your health? And so many of our students want to open a wellness center. It could have a retail herb shop. It could have wellness consultations that include nutrition, aromatherapy, and herbalism. Many of our students are interested in research. Maybe they want to go on to professional research and education, or create a blog, or become an influencer. It's really important to know how to read and write and talk well about herbal medicines to get out there into the public. People write authors. One of my students recently had her capstone paper published in the American Herbalist Guild Journal. And so those kinds of opportunities are there for students. And of course, there is a professional organization. Herbalists, they're very individual. We always like to think we're kind of like herding cats. We're all different. But there is one organization in North America called the American Herbalist Guild. It was founded in 1989. And that involves student memberships that you can become a member just as you enroll as a student, but eventually could lead to what's called a registered herbalist by the AHG. That's what I have, that title. That involves having a standard of 800 hours in academic, which are programs, especially the herbalist master diploma, that gives you the 800 hours, and then also a clinical component, which we set you up to further go on to that clinical component. And so the AHG registration is pretty much the highest standard in getting recognized in the herbal field. But remember, herbalism is not regulated by the government. And so this is something that's additional to your training. If you get your training through our school, you will always have the diploma, the certificate, the bachelor, and that's also very recognizable as a certification of your knowledge. Next slide. Well, how do students work with our educational degree? Well, outstanding graduate from last year, Michael Ford, he actually took 4 of our degrees. And this is shows that our degrees, you can start with a certificate and add a diploma and then get a bachelor, and they all integrate because the classes are mix and match many times. Just because it's a certificate, it's not necessarily an easier class. It's just the beginning of the series of classes you'll take. And so he developed a whole holistic wellness business that involves massage therapy. He has a degree in aesthetics for skincare. He does skincare. He works in a chiropractic office doing holistic consultations. And so he's a perfect example of somebody that's blended all his experience into his wellness center. which you can check out here on the web. And so it's a great model of how he took previous education he had, he added our education and created his vision, his dream of having a holistic wellness center. And so that's a little about herbal medicine. Next slide, does it go over our programs?
Mhm.
And these are very similar in aromatherapy. We have certificates, we have diplomas. The diploma in herbal master herbalist, that would probably be the most popular because that really gives you the core herbal skills. We have the associated applied science, which has a focus in herbal medicine, or a focus in nutrition, or a focus in aromatherapy. We have a certificate in botanical safety. If you have, a professional career and you want to learn more about the safety of using herbs in the clinical model. We have a Bachelor of Science in Integrative Health. And then we have graduate programs. We have probably the more popular is the Masters in Herbal Medicine, but those are all at the graduate level. And so wherever you're coming from, whether you have a medical degree and you want to add herbal studies into your protocols that you use, whether you're just beginning learning and you want to come in the undergraduate, you have a lot of different programs that will meet you where you're at. Questions?
Yeah, Glenn, there's a really great question. Someone asked if earning their master's degree in herbal medicine would complement their application when they go to apply to medical school, specifically to a naturopathic program.
Well, we have had students that go through our program that use their time at ACH for the prerequisites for a naturopathic school. And so that would be something that we would be setting you up. Naturopathic medical school is 4 or 5 years postgraduate doctorate program. And so that adds the most clinical training that you can get in the United States that I have as an herbalist / naturopathic physician. So yes, these can be used as prerequisites.
Yeah, and I want to say, I know from the admissions perspective, I've definitely had a lot of students that already have been to medical school, pharmacists, nurse practitioners, nurses, have their professional degrees and come back and do different levels of graduate work to complement their degrees as well, because they want to have that, academic and clinical understanding to provide to their patients and clients. Let's see, other questions.
And it looks like Amanda Heller, excuse me, it looks like we got a really great question. It said, what is the required foundation education if I want to do a certificate in herbal medicine?
So for undergraduate programs, including the certificate, minimum education requirements is having your high school diploma or equivalent. For students that are interested in graduate study, the minimum requirement is having your bachelor's degree. It can be a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor's of Science. And we do not have any prerequisite for undergrad or graduate studies. All of our curriculum is designed knowing we have a diverse group of students coming in with different levels of experience and background. Let's see here.
Okay, we are going to turn it over to keep this moving. We'll be handing it over to Dr. Janet Ludwig, our Dean of Integrative Health and Nutrition, to talk about our integrative health programs, the program that really brings all of these modalities together, as well as our nutrition programs. Dr. Ludwig.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the introduction. It's so nice to be here. Next slide. Okay, what is holistic nutrition? Everybody eats, so it's easy to explain what nutrition is, but holistic nutrition, it's based on the principle that all of the parts of the body come together as a whole, and they're all interconnected. It's a whole life approach. You will talk about not only the basic nutrition, you will learn about basic nutrition, but you will also get the aspect of holistic and the alternative type of techniques with the Ayurveda and the traditional Chinese medicine. We'll talk about ancestral foods, raw foods, cleansing, vegetarianism, and anti-inflammatory. In other words, the holistic nutrition that we teach, you get the basic RDA levels, the USDA, but you also get into the holistic approach. And this is relative to improving the whole body. As Dr. Nagel pointed out, we are focusing on wellness. Next slide, please. So, as you've already learned from Professors Latin and Professor Nagel, the courses are all similar. A holistic nutrition course, it's based upon, as I already indicated, nutrition, anatomy, physiology, counseling, and of course, psychology, intending for you to be working with clients and imparting that information to them in a realistic and a doable way so that they can change. We, of course, as in the other programs, they're taught by experienced educators that have degrees, licenses, and certifications in not only naturopathic doctors, but we also have masters and doctorates, as well as registered dietitians. Now, our program is not a registered dietitian program. We go beyond the food and talk about also lifestyle, stress, all of that impacts health. And as in the other two programs, we also have practical kits. In this case, you'll learn about food safety. You will actually get a kit that will help you prepare for cleansing of food, vegetables, balanced meals, and of course, health restoring nutrients. Next slide, please. And what do you come out with this degree? The careers, the certifications, and licenses. Of course, when you enter, you are given a membership to the National Association of Nutrition Professionals. That's part of your registration. So you are a student member of the NANP. This will assist you as you go through the program, and you will end up being an entrepreneur and as a nutritionist or a health and wellness consultant. The degrees allow you to sit for the certification exam in holistic nutrition. This is the organization you are given the first year, and that will assist you with credentialing in many of the states. It has great opportunities going through this organization. Also, our program allows you to sit for the National Academy of Sports Medicine and also apply to sit for the exam for the Certified Clinical Nutritionist exam. And as a result of our programs, many of our graduates are nutrition consultants for employee wellness. In other words, Google wants to make sure that their employees are at their peak. A lot of our graduates go in and advise for employee wellness. Of course, healthcare industries, sports team, medical centers, naturopathic offices, and of course, fitness and wellness centers and other opportunities. Even natural foods will hire our graduates. And of course, being a health and wellness consultant is a result of finishing the programs. Next slide, please. So, how does this make a difference? How does a holistic nutrition education enable you to make a difference? One of our graduates is Dr. Cindy Ross. She has created a successful online nutrition and wellness business. She was our outstanding graduate recognized by our accreditation department. She, of course, passed the NANP exam. She is a nutrition professional as well as board certified. And she has completed also a board certified dietary supplement program that is part of the NANP. Now that's a micro credentialing course that allows you to sit for this examination. So she has been very successful as gaining she's a master's in holistic nutrition. Next slide, please. So as you've already discussed with the other two programs, these are our holistic nutrition programs. You can take certificates at the undergraduate level, also a diploma in holistic health practice at the undergraduate level, and then proceed to the associates, the bachelor's, the graduate certificate, and then of course the Master of Science in Holistic Nutrition. We are also introducing a Doctor of Science in Integrative Health. This will be new in 2023. So I'm very proud to indicate that for this meeting. So I am ready to take some questions at this point in time.
Let's see.
Looks like we've got a great question on natural product manufacturing. I'll go on and I'll, if someone wants to, one of the deans wants to talk about natural product manufacturing and the type of education they can receive, I will go on and I will share the specific link for that particular program.
I guess that would be me. We do have a certificate. I believe it's 4 classes that you take that gives you an understanding of the natural products industry, what's required for bringing herbal products to the market. That certificate is, again, I think 16 credits in total. So it's a really good beginning.
It also includes an aromatherapy course.
Yeah, I think one of the things some of our students really love about that program is it's fairly well-rounded in terms of the curriculum that makes up the class. So you get the herbalism, the aromatherapy, there's a business class, there's a course called Nutrition, Body Care, and Herbalism that's all encompassing as well. So it's really nice for someone that wants to start, would you guys say making their own products at home, body products, holistic products, whether
seen a
it's
number of
personal use or starting to build that professional pathway.
I've seen a number of students use it both as professional, helping, relatives, but I've also seen a number of students go through this particular certificate route when developing their online retail business to create those types of products.
Yeah, especially since the last few years, the world's changed. A lot of our students and graduates are doing a lot of their business virtually. So it's pretty amazing.
So let's say you've heard about our aromatherapy from Amanda, and you've heard about herbal medicine from Glenn, and you've heard about nutrition from Janet, but you're like, I'm interested in all of the above. How do we have any offerings that bring it all together and really are kind of an umbrella type of offering? And so I want to turn it back to Dr. Ludwig to talk about our integrative health programs that really provide that kind of overarching type of experience for students.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so great to talk to you about all of these. And this is kind of putting it all together. And I did see a question in the chat box. All of our courses are fully online. So somebody from South Sudan, you are very welcome to come to the program. All right. Integrative health. Next slide. What is it? Okay. Integrative health is this area in the middle. It blends conventional medicine, which is, as Dr. Nagel pointed out, more of the model of disease, but it also blends complementary and alternative medicine, as you've already talked about with aromatherapy, with herbalism, and of course with nutrition and the professions within that. It also involves self-care. That is so important. And we teach that relative to relieving your stress, your family's level of stress, environmental toxins, getting rid of them in your workspace, in your home, and trying to blend all of that together such that you can work in an integrative situation to improve health for clients, for yourself. Now, for an example of this is a conventional medicine and self-care. I've had, and in my clinical work, I've had people say, hey, I eat a lot of grapefruit. Well, that integrative healthcare needs to know that grapefruit interferes with so many medicines. So this knowledge puts it all together so you can apply all of that in a holistic approach to health and wellness. So just these bullet points over here, basically integrative health incorporates modern science, but additionally with the holistic health modalities and wellness principles. An integrative health practitioner, which you would be, whether you're a specialist in aromatherapy or in herbalism, you would be a bridge between the conventional medical recommendations as well as the whole person approach. And our programs provide basically a practical, individualized wellness support strategy to impart optimal health. Next slide, please. So again, as we've already talked about, what are the courses like? I'll go quickly through this because they incorporate health, disease, lifestyle based upon the science. It is science-based, and we do bring in the approach, the holistic approach, as well as the alternative and complementary. Didn't mention that the integrative health modality is growing so fast. And I'm subsequent slide, I'll discuss that. In the integrative health courses, you will be having practical labs and practice consulting in coaching sessions, as indicated in this slide. You will do this back with the individuals in regards to, there we go. Where these two people are talking, the courses have you working with volunteer clients, other students, and all of that protocol that you develop with working one-on-one will be analyzed by your instructor. You will get feedback, and then you go back to that client to present a protocol and see how that person has improved and implemented it. So you get all the practical experiences in your courses. And again, as we've already talked about, they are trained educators with high-level degrees. We also have not only the naturopathic and the masters and the PhDs, but we also have chiropractic individuals teaching in these programs too. Next slide, please. So this is where I wanted to give you some statistics. The growth of integrative health in 2021 in the United States was $20 billion. That's only in complementary and alternative medicine. Okay, in the next 10 years, it's expected to increase by 23%. So guess what? There are going to be more practitioners needed out there. And our graduates have been health and wellness coaches, consultants and educators, writers and speakers, allied health, as well as it's so important to get involved in the government and community-based integrative health. We all know what the government is demanding regarding the food that we eat. You will be involved in the legislation that is that food companies are producing our massive foods. So important relative to that. And you'll get so much information as to how to become licensed and certified. This will be through your organizations such as the NANP. Next slide, please. This is a graduate that a wonderful person, Ferrante Agar. She got into this because where she lives, there was very few organic and fresh foods options. So she wanted to learn about this. We all know in the cities, there are food deserts and there are people that do not have food availability. She came to the American College of Healthcare Sciences and earned all of these degrees, stackable, as we've already talked about. She received her master's in health and wellness, and she now has a very thriving business in which she is a wellness practitioner. She's coupled this with being a doula. She gives particular advice on breastfeeding, providing peer counselors, as well as she is a yoga instructor. So all of that is possible through the integrative health education, whether you want an expertise in herbalism, in aromatherapy, or nutrition, all of that is possible. So I think that is my next slide, my last slide of it. Here it is with the integrative health programs. And Amanda will explain a lot of these, but of course we have the undergraduate programs and we have these certificates, health and fitness training. These are the ones that will allow you to sit for the the NASM, sports medicine. So all of these are at the undergraduate level. And then of course we have the graduate level. So excited to introduce you that we will be having the Doctor of Science in Integrative Health Science, which you can specialize in either aromatherapy, nutrition, or herbalism. So be aware of that coming along. And I'd love to answer some questions. I am always available by email, by telephone. I would love to get you, because we need you out there to improve the health of people. So
Thank you, Dr. Ludwig. I appreciate that. I realized I had not actually introduced myself, and I did want to tell you a little bit about the student experience. So my name is Dr. Tiffany Rodriguez. I work as the Chief Academic Officer here at ACHS. So I have the privilege of working with our student services team. This is a team of individuals who will be supporting you once you actually start with ACHS. I just wanted to make one quick note on how ACHS is different. I've had the privilege of being in higher education for 20 years, and I can honestly say that ACHS is one of the best institutions when it comes to actually supporting our students. What does that actually mean, right? Every institution says that, but what does that actually mean if I'm in your position? As an example, when it comes to quizzes, it doesn't matter if you get the answers right the first time. We allow multiple attempts. What we care is that learning happens. Does it need to happen on the first attempt? No. What we care is that learning happens during the course. We also create policies that support our adult learners. Many of our students are either working professionals, they have children, they have obligations outside of ACHS and their studies. So we try to create flexible policies that can support and acknowledge that we understand that life happens. So for students who might be delayed in finishing their coursework at the end of the semester, and they just need an extra week or two to finish up their work, we have policies to support them, to give them a little bit of extra time to finish out their work. We truly care about seeing our students be successful. We want to work with you to find flexible solutions to support you in your goals. So with that, I want to turn it over to our admissions director, Amanda Heller. She's got some great information on what the next steps can look like if you are interested in joining us. Amanda.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Let's see if we can get to the next slide. I'm just going to talk real briefly about the admissions process. And I know you've just heard our dean speak and Tiffany talk about our student support. Honestly, that starts from the very beginning. Our admissions team works with each student one-on-one to provide you a resource and to be your advocate through the entire process, whether that's helping coach you towards the right program and pathway to fit your short-term and long-term goals, helping you and advising you through collecting the required admissions documents, advocating for you to the admissions committee. We're your people. So we're going to work with you every step of the way, and it doesn't stop there. Once you're accepted, we assist you with securing your funding, as well as getting registered and connecting you with the student success coaches and student services department. So we all work together to provide you really the most positive experience possible, make the process as smooth as possible, and helping you achieve your goals. If you are attending today and you haven't had the chance to actually formally apply, do want to announce today that our summer classes start May 8th. And then we have a summer 2 session at the end of June as well. But we still have seats available for our summer term, which is a full 15 weeks. And if you are interested in jumping into the summer term, everyone who's attended today, we want you to know that even though it's the registration deadline, we want to waive your late fee for you. So please don't hesitate to jump into the application process. Your admissions advisor will guide you through that to avoid all of those bumps, so you don't have to figure it out on your own, and help you take that leap towards your goals versus waiting, 3 to 6 months. So if you're eager to get going. Quick, I want to make sure we get a chance real quick before we go as well, is we had a really good question. I wanted the program deans to give some feedback. We had someone ask, I already have a bachelor's degree. Should I work towards my master's or do a second bachelor's? My feedback is we encourage everyone with a bachelor's degree, even if it's in a very different field, to go into a master's program. It typically is the better investment of your time and money. And we want you in classes with your peers. We want you to be challenged. And so I just wanted to get some feedback from the program chairs about how do we develop the curriculum and support students that might be making a career change when their degree was in something else.
That's a wonderful question. And I can let the deans chime in on that. I think part of, well, first of all, how our curriculum is developed is by gathering information from a number of resources. So annually, we hold an employer summit. Last year, we had nearly, I think it was close to 25 to 30 employers who are industry experts, the head of AHG. We had natural grocers, a number of pharmacy, a ton of industry experts who are constantly keeping us informed of the latest needs out there so that our graduates are graduating with the skills that they need in order to be successful in employment. We also talk to our alumni to find out, okay, those of you who have started a business, who are wanting to have their own health coaching practice or wellness business, what additional curriculum do you wish that you had received? And we adapt our information that way. Now, let's say you're coming from a completely different field. I would say that actually accounts for probably close to 50% of our student population. As times are changing, more and more people are realizing the importance of holistic health. And they might have had a different degree in previous years, but now they're realizing the importance of this and they're coming to us. That's exactly the reason why we developed our stackable credentials, so that if someone doesn't have a background in this field, they're able to get those foundational courses in the certificate, in the associates, or in the diploma, which can then be applied to a longer term, larger degree. So if you do not have any background at all in aromatherapy, you are still able to enroll in our aromatherapy program, because we assume people are coming to us without that background. And we're going to provide the support and the education for those students. Same goes with herbal medicine, same goes with nutrition. Deans, do you all want to add anything to that?
Oh, I definitely want to, especially since you mentioned the employee summit, the employer summit. Those people were so interested in our curriculum. They not only did they have advisement for how we change it, but they want our students to be part of their program. In other words, a supplement company. For example, one of our graduate students was interested in cinnamon, and the supplement company wanted her to actually write a research project on the active ingredient for it. So they're using our students, and you get credit in that based upon the programs, especially that we're putting together with the doctorate program. You will actually be working with them and in a directed study program to developing information that they may then go ahead and use in their programs. So just wanted to mention that.
Excellent, thank you.
And we have aromatherapy graduates taking their education so many places. We've had nurses take proposals to develop aromatherapy programs in hospitals and, for the VA, for other types of hospital settings. They've published their papers in journals. They've got to help with product development, just so many places. So yeah, back to the bachelor's, master's question, I definitely would support investing in the graduate program. It's going to look so good on your resume or your CV. It's really going to show like that you have that dedication and that you are able to take on leadership positions. So I think that's a great investment. Even if you have to go slow, it's really going to pay off. And we do design it so people can come in from the beginning, and we're aware of that. We coach all of our faculty to support people in that. And I think that makes for a really rich learning experience because everybody is in the programs for different reasons. So you get to meet lots of different types of people and hear different perspectives. And you also have a great support team. So you'll be able to reach out to your student services advisor and say, I thought I just wanted to study this, but I'm realizing maybe I have more interest, and then you can expand. And that's not uncommon to happen. So many people enroll in the Integrative Health and Sciences program. They need to take one aromatherapy class, and they get in there and they're like, this is absolutely fascinating. I did not realize I was so interested in this. And that's what's so cool about our programs, is then we can build it out for you. So I would recommend taking the plunge and coming over into the graduate program. And I would say that, honestly, I'm a big believer in the value of degree. I'm sure my son, who's a freshman in college, is tired of me preaching it, but it is true. I think if you start with a certificate and diploma, those are fantastic goals. But if you do not have a degree and you want to work towards one, this is a school that will support you to achieve that goal.
So we have a really great question, and I'm so glad, Carrie, that you asked this one. Regarding research upon graduation, how does the college assist in networking so I can find this opportunity? In so many ways. So first of all, I want to let everyone know, once you become an ACHS student and you graduate, you actually still have access to the classroom, all of your materials for the rest of your life. So you'll always have that. You also will join an ACHS alumni network group where positions are posted, networking opportunities are shared, and you will also have the opportunity to work one-on-one with our Director of Career Services, who is helping students identify career pathways, looking at different positions that might be available in their area, or remote options, and also a ton of programming. So just last month, we held a phenomenal webinar. I mean, there were over 200 former alumni in attendance on how to start and grow a business. So we invited 4 of our alumni back and some of our faculty members who have built and started businesses to answer our alumni's questions on how do you start or how do you grow a holistic health business. And so those types of resources are available to our alumni on a continual basis. So hopefully, Carrie, that answers your question. In many ways, we'll be supporting you after you graduate.
Yeah, and that's where we also encourage students, like joining those professional organizations as students, not just waiting until you're a professional, because that's an amazing way to be networking, building those relationships, and get to know your professors. I know we're 100% online, and it can be probably very easy to not talk to your professor on a weekly basis, but they want to get to know you. Those are professional connections. So don't be shy, and especially if you really like the field they're in, the research they do, and it aligns with your long-term professional goals. So awesome. Oh, real quick, just want to make sure everyone saw our full admissions team and their smiling faces. You may recognize some names if you've already been working with someone. Do not hesitate to reach out and shoot your advisor an email. You can reach out to me if you're not sure who to contact. Again, we're here to be your resource and advocate through the entire process and help you navigate this every step of the way. Any last questions? Well,
Thank
if
No, I was just saying thank you to everyone.
yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. It's this has been the best Friday and the best webinar. We'll be sending out a copy of the recording to everyone who attended, as well as everyone who may not have been able to make it today. So if you want to rewatch any segment, and just thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us this afternoon.
Yes, thank you. It's been great.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Bye.
Have an
Bye.
amazing weekend. Take care.
Bye.